Hello and welcome to the United Way of Santa Fe County event for fundraisers, community supporters, donors to learn more about our programs. Today's program will be featuring the Firstborn Home Visiting Program. As you may be aware, United Way of Santa Fe County has a commitment to provide high quality early childhood education programs that make an impact in our communities for young children under 5 years old and the families that they live with. So our programs focus on enhancing and building the early years because the research shows so strongly that the early brain development sets the stage for future learning, future emotional regulation, future success in all areas of children's lives. So in Santa Fe County, United Way has committed to providing 6 different programs that serve families with children under 5 years old. And home visiting was developed around the state of New Mexico as a way to do early prevention programs to help offer families with newborn babies and even during the prenatal period support, education, guidance, information that is evidence-based and helps them to create a secure environment in their homes. The Firstborn program was developed in Silver City, New Mexico by a pediatrician and a social worker, and it is now replicated in over 18 counties in the state of New Mexico. It was studied in Santa Fe County by the RAND Corporation and determined to be an evidence-based program that positively improves outcomes for families with young children. So we are really excited at United Way of Santa Fe County to offer this program. Currently, we have about 15 home visitors, and we serve over 200 families with home visits every week. And the families are eligible for these services from prenatal through the 3rd birthday of their first child. So I have today one of our board members and one of our home visitors to share with you a little bit more about their experience in the Firstborn program and supporting our programs in Santa Fe County. We have an exciting announcement that we have recently acquired the Rio Arriba Firstborn program as well. So our services with home visiting now extend from Santa Fe County into Rio Arriba County. We have 2 home visitors that have been in Rio Arriba County for over 5 years each, and they're serving many of the families that live in our neighboring county of Rio Arriba. So we're really excited to be supporting Firstborn in more of northern New Mexico and to offer that program in Rio Arriba connection to this robust system of Firstborn programs in New Mexico. So thank you for being here. I want to introduce you to Mireya Shoemaker, and she is a home visitor who has been with United Way of Santa Fe County for over 3 years now. And each home visitor has a caseload of close to 20 families that they visit and provide resources for every week. And Mireya will tell us a little bit about her job as a home visitor. I also wanted to let you know that the Firstborn program costs $700,000 a year to run in Santa Fe County, and that averages out a little over $5,000 per family. So when we're looking at this from a fundraising perspective, we are looking for donors to help support us in providing these services to families. So that's an outline of our funding. And Mireya, welcome, and thank you for being here. Mireya actually, before she was hired, worked with a family that had a newborn baby. She was a nanny for a family that was receiving the Firstborn services. So she got exposure to our curriculum and the information through the family she worked with, and then eventually was hired with us as a Firstborn home visitor. She got her degree from UNM. And Mireya, I'd love to hear from you about, first of all, introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then tell me what you do as a home visitor. What do you see as the benefits to your families of home visiting?
Hi, my name is Alicia Shoemaker, and as you said, Abby, I've been working for the Firstborn program for a little bit over 3 years now, and I've just loved the trajectory of the 3 years. I just graduated 4 of my first families that I got as prenatal families when I first started 3 years ago, which was a really sweet experience to see them through the 3+ years that we've been doing weekly home visits. So for me, I think one of the biggest benefits I see in my home visits with families, without a doubt, is just the confidence building aspect that the home visits encourage from the moms and the dads and the parents participating. I see the growth of, parents who are doubtful, and just through the curriculum and through, in a sense, are cheering them on in their choices and in their exploration of what it means to be a parent, just them finding their voice as parents for their children.
And families receive a 45-minute home visit every week, and there is a developed curriculum of the firstborn program so that you come into your home visit with a set agenda in some cases based on the child's age or what parents have identified as their concerns regarding sleep or nutrition or Medea, do you also find that you offer support to other members of the family, or do your visits just focus on the development of the baby?
It's a really wide spectrum of what that help looks like for each family. Some families, as you state, it's very curriculum based and we focus a lot on the development of the child. For other families, we do more resource management as far as, with COVID right now, for example, a lot of referrals to the food depot, a lot of referrals to where to get free diapers, that sort of thing. And, supporting, we do sometimes have home visits that support multiple generations. So oftentimes actually, grandmas will be in the visits, every couple of weeks, grandma will be there, grandpa will be there, and they'll sit and they'll, participate with us as we discuss, and also as we just delight in the child that's in front of us.
Yeah. It's so nice for parents to get that weekly check-in. Many parents go a whole week without anyone saying, so tell me how you're doing and what are your concerns. And I think home visitors have that really special role of being a consistent person in their life. And so when things like a job loss or difficulty with illness or concerns about the child's development, when those things come up, they're really just within a week's time period of seeing their home visitor, somebody who they can ask questions. If your home visitor doesn't have the answer to the questions, they will do research for you. They will get resources. They will help to make phone calls for appointments that need to happen. So it's really a comprehensive level of support that I think so many families benefit from. And there may be weeks where there's not a lot going on and you delight in the baby and celebrate the milestones. And then there's other times you can really be on the front line of helping that family manage crisis or something that was unexpected. And that's also the importance of what we offer as home visitors. I'd like to hear from you too, Medea. What does a typical day in your life as a home visitor look like? And especially now with your new adapted services for the COVID restrictions.
Yeah, so my day starts with checking emails and checking my phone first thing in the morning and responding accordingly to whatever messages I have or any rescheduling. There's a lot of rescheduling going on with COVID and people having multiple kids or multiple, family members. If one of my moms is taking care of her nieces and nephews, we might have to reschedule that week for a different time. And then following up on referrals, because a lot of families are doing their child well checks through telehealth. Our assessments have become pretty important, I think, as far as the ASQ, the developmental assessment. So if I have any pending early intervention referrals or any pending referrals to Esperanza or any other community partners, I like to follow up in the morning so they have time to get back to me by the end of the day. And then I prep for my first visit, and depending on what's going on with the family, that might be getting an update on a referral or a resource. It might be, going into my little bag of toys and puppets and books. If I have a kiddo who's working in potty training, I might pull out a potty training book and we can start our visit that way. And revisiting the service note from the previous visit to kind of get a sense of where we left off last week. And then, having the visit with the family, and once the visit's over, writing my service note and following up with any additional curriculum. We're sending the curriculum electronically right now, or for families who don't do email, I'll take a photo of it and text it to them so they can still read it. And, I kind of read it with them over our telehealth visit so that, that the information is still accessible, even if not everybody has the same access to technology.
Mm-hmm. Great, and I think it's important to just elaborate on what you did say about assessments. One part of firstborn home visiting is that there is a regular schedule of developmental assessments. So we work with pediatricians and early intervention specialists. If any of those standardized developmental screenings show evidence of a delay or a concern, we can bring in an outside referral from an early intervention specialist and see if that child might need physical therapy, speech therapy, things that can help improve the developmental track. And the great thing about early childhood is oftentimes those developmental delays can get caught up or get corrected so that we keep children on track. And I think without home visiting, sometimes those delays go unnoticed, language delays, physical delays, and it's not until they reach public school that those delays start getting assessed. And you've missed so many years of opportunity to improve the development of that child because it wasn't caught early enough. So that's a real advantage, I think, of home visiting, is that we are eyes in the home. We are there to track and address families' concerns and bring in those resources right away, because young children are so resilient. They can respond really well to early treatments. Another thing you said that I think is worth pointing out is that at 3 years old, children will graduate from firstborn, and you've had some graduates now, and that's so rewarding to be with a family essentially from prenatal through 3 years old. Our 3-year-old graduation ceremonies are adorable, if you can imagine how excited they are, and it really honors a huge commitment that families have made to this program. And we are excited in Santa Fe County to have one of the highest retention rates for home visiting in the rest of the, compared to the rest of the state. We have families that really make a commitment to this program, to scheduling their visits, to meeting with their home visitors. And all of them really do say how it has impacted their confidence, their knowledge level of the early development, and just helped so much to have that support. So in relation to that, I am going to show a short video clip of families talking about the benefits they received from home visiting. So I'll share that with you all now.
After we brought her home, it was exhausting. It was really, I don't know, it's kind of a blur.
It was intense. You're a first-time parent, and you bring home this tiny, little, delicate, fragile flower, and you don't want to break it, and you want to do everything right, and you have no idea what that entails.
It was tough. I think that first hour we left the hospital and we were driving home, the gravity of no nurse is going to come in and tell me what to do or, keep us on track or help us with anything.
It was scary. Yeah. First doctor's appointment, we didn't know how much to feed him. We didn't know how much to do, what to do with him.
Yeah. I mean, it was very scary time, but also very happy time because, child's here finally after this 9-month anticipation.
Turns out it's actually not as hard as we thought it would be, but still it was very scary at first.
Even the most basic things were very scary.
Yeah.
We help first-time parents feel more confident in their new role.
We provide information and resources to help you navigate through the many choices you face as a parent.
The first couple of days that we brought her home were terrifying. And it was so nice to have somebody that we could ask questions to.
So you were what, 6 months, 7 months pregnant?
About that.
And we started having the home visitor come over here, and she was it was really good. I think mostly it helped us just say, what's normal.
She just always answered our questions. If she didn't have the answer on her, she would bring it in, and it's just that constant reassurance that we're doing it okay.
This thing is happening. Is it normal? Is it common? Just really a sanity check, and that's been invaluable.
So we could really tailor our lifestyle and what we're experiencing, and the person could help us kind of from that angle, rather than us just trying 10 different ideas that we read on Google and things that, you never know.
There's so much information on the internet, and it can be so overwhelming. And you want to do everything the best possible way, and you don't go into it knowing what's out there. So to have somebody to bounce these ideas off of and have them have the experience to say, let me help you. It sounds like what you're looking for is this. Let me help you find that resource.
So it's nice to have somebody who's seen 1,000 experiences and knows to tell you, oh, we'll try this way because that works for a lot of other people in your circumstance. Things like that. Very helpful.
That was really important too, to know that, in the next couple of weeks, he's going to be doing this sort of thing. He's going to start reaching for things and grabbing toys and putting them into his mouth. And that's really exciting because we're going to be looking for that. We're going to know what to expect.
It never feels like someone's just coming into your home and invading. Maria is just, it feels like she's supposed to be here. Isabella loves her.
Yeah, and they formed a relationship, which is nice.
Having your own little baby at home is a whole new experience, and everything was just so new and so foreign. So to me, I feel like everything that we got from the program has been invaluable.
That's kind of the thing about the firstborn program. If you're going to tell somebody that, be like, hey, we know how scared you are. Just call these people. Everybody's just made our life so easy.
Together, we build a foundation for happy, healthy families.
Thanks, Mireya. That was really great to hear from the families that get firstborn services. So such powerful work, and thank you for the work you're doing with families. Next, I want to introduce Alicia Bertram, who is on our board at United Way of Santa Fe County. Hi, Alicia. If you don't mind starting, just introduce yourself and tell us why you've chosen to support United Way of Santa Fe County and programs here.
Hi, I'm Alicia Bertram. I think I've been on the board for 4 or 5 years now. I grew up in Santa Fe. I'm 11th generation New Mexican. This community is very, very important to me. That's why I got involved. You always hear about in elementary school or high school, maybe Santa Fe public schools struggling. And I don't think people realize how important it is to actually start much, sooner than that. So I think this first-born program is amazing. It helps so many first-time mothers. I would consider having kids in the next couple of years, and to be quite honest, it sounds terrifying. So having a resource like that available, I think, is incredible. And you can see the progress, and the attention that you give these children as they progress. And I think it's just really beautiful to watch. It's important for our future as well. They'll go on to have, better graduation rates, maybe go on to college and be part of this community long term. So it's kind of a no-brainer. I've loved being involved in United Way and continue to do so for a long time.
Right. And for someone like you, your family's been in New Mexico for a long time, I think one of the benefits that we don't really talk about when we think of children and receiving support services is that economic development that happens long term, and that if future generations stay in our community, they'll be bringing their families into our communities and raising kids here. And it really does improve kind of a larger picture for Santa Fe. So what do you see as the real benefits for these kind of programs in our community?
I think that, along those lines of the better economic development is that, we'll be able to have our own educated workforce, homegrown in Santa Fe, and watch as these kids become powers in their own right. And, it'll create a better community for everybody long term. And I think, the work that, for example, that you do with these kids it's also, I mean, they're adorable. It's just a great program. And, it's so beneficial to them to start so young, and for the families as well who are struggling maybe, or, don't always know what the right thing is to do. It's a great support system to provide them with.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think it's helpful too that the curriculum is evidence-based, so that it is based in all the current research on brain development, emotional regulation. And so sometimes myths get passed on from grandparents to parents, and we don't have the right information. And so this is an opportunity for someone kind of in a personal, informal way to interact with families, bring in this important information, and really create that secure foundation in early childhood. And what we see is that rapid brain development that happens in early childhood is really based on positive interactive experiences. And it's not only for people who have tons of resources, it's really about developing the relationship between a child and their caregiver. And sometimes if you're a new parent and you didn't have a great parent in your life, or your childhood was troubled, you actually have to learn some of those skills. And so these home visitors are really kind of teaching the basic interactive skills to help develop the brain, to help create security and attachment. There's so many layers of what happens in these visits. And our home visitors are so well trained when we look at all these aspects of development. It's emotional development, social development, cognitive development, and there's an emphasis on early literacy, on different developmental activities. So I think, like you said, Alicia, for families to have access to that kind of information is really, it's different and life-changing. The good news is it's not an expensive program to run, that these are preventative programs that have a positive, proven outcomes. And we are really fortunate in Santa Fe County to have an incredible staff like Mireya, and an incredible board, including you, Alicia, that support our work, that help guide and make decisions about our work. And I just want to say thank you to you, Alicia, for being on our board and helping us to make really important decisions as we continue to move forward and innovate when needed. Of course, this past year has required some innovation with COVID restrictions, and we have continued to keep all of our staff on board, as well as all of our families are still enrolled in our services. So we are maintaining the exceptional participation and the services that we can provide for families, even in this current environment. Right. And Alicia, one last question. What would you say that you see as a real strength of the work of United Way of Santa Fe County?
The strength of the work of United Way. I think that, we are just so focused on these children succeeding in life. And I think that, I don't know of any other programs that offer something like this to families and children so early on and so consistently. I mean, 3 years is quite a long time to be able to rely on someone for, questions about, how to do what's best for your children. So, I think that just constant support. I mean, I'm sure they'll call and text you at all hours of the day and night. And I just think it's so important to just provide that additional support to help strengthen these families and, the education and the bonds that they have with their parents. And I don't know, it's really, I love watching it, and I love being involved in any way I can, and, hope to spread the word more.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Thank you. So I want to just thank you, our donors and community supporters who are watching this video. Thank you for helping to provide donations that help, that Support Firstborn program. I wanted you to get a sense and a feel of what we're doing in this program. Again, it costs about $5,000 per family per year to provide firstborn services, and that includes all the resources, the staffing, the backup time. And so we are asking our donors to help support this program with a generous donation. Feel free to designate your donation directly to the Firstborn program if this is a program that really speaks strongly to your commitment to our organization. And stay tuned. There will be other videos of different programs. You can learn more about what we're doing, how we're working and interacting with the community. And to finish, I have a short video from families and staff that is for you, the donors and community supporters of our work.
Can you say it loud with me? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for your support. Thank you for all you do for our children. Thank you for your donations and your time. Please keep helping out when you have time. This is our future right here, our future leaders. Yay! Gracias.
Gracias a la maestra por cuidar a mis hijas y enseñarla a mis hijos también.
You, our donors, are our lifeblood. We couldn't do this work without you. Thank you so very much from United Way of Santa Fe County.